good evening, good morning, good afternoon. Coming live from Have Your Heart, Children of God. I got a little thing here. I have this beard growing pretty good now. No, I'm not transgender. So this is pre-full moon day, and they had gotten some toys they really liked, which is these. I should have probably maybe thought that through a little more, but they were so discounted, and they do like fetch balls, and it had the rope effect. But I can tell you right now, in 2 days, I don't think they've had enough sleep. So, oh man, this is maybe not as comfortable as I hoped, like in the sense of little nip of elixir. It's getting a little uncomfortable already, and it's not even. Usually I try to wait till late, and then I had shifted my schedule at one point again. And I wanted to take you into Aldi's because I do the horrible camera anyways. Well, then with the grocery cart, it was even worse. So I wanted to show you a couple things I got, and yes, the prices are higher, but in Ohio, if I compared it to last winter, which would have been, I think, one of our very last trips, there was something with the meat, and there was something else. I want to show you some fun treats I got us, and we added another addition to the family. It's just supposed to be a joke, and it's supposed to be used as a footstool, but then after I thought about it, I was like, it doesn't matter. I don't need to overthink this. It's for like a really young child. I have another one similar, but it has longer legs on it because it actually is more of a footstool. I wanted to use this as the same with the camping chair in here. So this is a new member of the family. She's pretty cute. It's pretty funny. I mean, I must say I laughed right away. She's just hanging out on the bike right now. But probably bring her over here. So the other fun thing I got is like maybe today wasn't the day to think I could like. Maybe it is. I don't like it. I like to have a little bit of whatever, and I don't know what I'm gonna do about it. So this is the fun thing I got. I've always kind of wanted something like this. I never got it. I do have the receipt. Hip, you're gonna have to stop right now. You guys go play together. And this is about $7. And what it is it's like a steamer, and you put it in a wok or whatever. I think you could steam dumplings, like the Oriental dumplings. And I technically, when I first saw it, it was, I didn't read it because I don't allow myself in that aisle if I do go to Aldi's because there's just too much fun stuff. I don't know like how exactly people track people. Is it just strictly through the cell phone? So I did take it in, but I immediately had one fella really too close. Like if I had went like this, I could have hit him in the gut. And then I was just videoing the worst ever with the cart. John had worked on the car all morning, so he opted out, stayed in the car to rest. He worked on the truck. The puppies are like super duper amped. So now what goes on is, now that I'm reading about it, is, well, obviously the lid. And then, so you put like so much water at the bottom, not too much. And I was a little alarmed because the warning had to warn people, and big warning to not put it directly on a heat source. Those things kind of always concern me because this is bamboo, so that just kind of worrisome. So, and not only that, it's just dark cute as all out. So you steam veggies in there or whatever. I could steam the cabbage in here. I just really like it a lot. Super fun. I don't know. I'm dying to know why the small craft moved from. It could be a different one. Put that up there. So yeah, I mean, like I could honestly say pretty close to saying between there and Menards. Menards really got. I was really gonna test my abilities. Because what I was needing to do is go in and order the seal for the porcelains. At least get started with the kitchen and then the tub. But and I can say kids now because they are kids. They're usually a little younger than my son, or maybe approximately the same age, or maybe he knows the whole area too. I don't know, but they didn't really want to help me. And I can't stand the big stores for long, and they're always too hot. The heat's always too high. And I'm technically maybe a little overdressed, but it was chillier this morning. But by the time we got down to Toledo, it was probably getting a little warmer. But oh my God, I don't know if I can even manage this today. All right, one. If I start, then what are we gonna do then? Okay, so the deal is that we already knew, we had already checked in with Menards. We had looked online, and this was one of our last visits. And flying funny unicorn horse. And when I was little, I was so fascinated with unicorns. Certain characters were just really, it was just really made my imagination really go on some fun tours about things like this. And who are we to say there never was any unicorns? We don't know. We really don't. So, where did these people come up with all these ideas on fairyland stuff? We don't know. We don't know if it's just something that we can't see anymore and it still exists in certain areas, or if the brains changed over time or whatever they did to mankind so that we can't see into that realm. So this is pretty hilarious. Actually matches my hat. And Hip, come over here, Hip. Look, I see Hip's eyes, and they're just like, they have been crazy about these. Get back. Then you won't be able to see. So I know for a fact one lady, I mean, that could have been a coincidence, but she was like one of the sweetest girls in this first area we lived when we moved closer to town as a family when I was young. She was the girl that that was one in the lineup, I think. I might be wrong. She might not have been. And then my the middleborn, the boy would say, "Oh, she was just too sweet for me." I don't know. He based his choices, but I'm sure he's still like getting in the sack with them. He talk about a flounder. I mean, for a long time, and something really horrible happened to her. I remember the story, and she was severely shunned. But looking back, I'm wondering, was it just because she knew stuff too, and something was set up on her way back then? I mean, the predators back then in this town, because there was such a small population, just literally ran everything. And if you tried to probably even go down to the station, if you were a female who had been, we'll say in the 80s, 70s, 80s, I would say even probably into the 90s, early 90s, well, until today probably, but even more so worse back then. So two characters really stood out to me at Aldi's, but then what were the one in Menards was very upsetting. Very creepy aura, was definitely looking for me because he didn't have a card. He didn't really look. I always know because they don't really get, like, they're not really shopping per se. They're just standing there being weird, near too close to me. He stayed a little farther away, but he definitely was listening in, and that was starting to get to me because the kids kept saying they didn't have the seal for the tub. Then he had to wait for his manager, but he wouldn't even let me look at the computer. I probably could have found a lot of holdup while John's waiting, right? Like this was supposed to be, I walk into Menards, we have to order it, and then we have to go pick it up again, okay? Because they don't keep it in the store. And so I got to pick the color for this seal, and then and so he's on the computer. Finally the manager. I said, "Where's your manager then?" And this kid could have gotten someone else. Like that's where this was. And so the creeper kept being in that area. And then then when the kid got there finally, I don't know, it was weird. Name was Dylan. It's just hard to believe how far and wide this kind of can go, Like what are they doing? Is it just what's going on with that? I can't even tell you how many familiar faces, and I all right, well, I haven't named her yet. And I was like, why'd they pick this color for this unicorn? It's so cute. It's cute. Put like a little bow around her neck. You do like a little horse harness on her. Oh, that's not nice. Let's see, it would go about like that. Wouldn't it? Oh, when I was a little girl, I wanted to be a cowgirl so bad. You guys, I would dream about it. I was going to be the bestest cowgirl in the whole wide world. I was going to learn how to race and run around the barrels. I don't know what it is now. I mean, it's so far removed for me. I wouldn't even know how to ride a horse anymore. And oh my god, you have to have your reins to hold on to, or you'll fall off the horse. You know what I'm saying, off your unicorn. I wanted to then try equestrian, anything but competitive roller skating anymore. Jesus, Lord have mercy. I hated it. I liked my friends. I like to keep the old lady quiet to some degree. And but I loved speed skating, relays. Yeah, I like to dance and sing and have fun. That was for fun, you know what I mean? And I like to social skate and bebop, a boop, a bop. But I didn't like wearing tight ass uniforms that showed my whole body, revealing, uncomfortable, waiting in these stupid rings all day long, hot, cold temperatures, not proper food there to eat. Just waiting all day, all day, all day. Just in the rink all day, effing long. And I was like, I want to go over to ice skating. I don't want to be in roller. Do it. I didn't like the heavy skates, and there'd already been some weird stuff happen with this one German coach. Mom kept switching my coaches or letting me. That looks bad in a way. You're supposed to stay kind of dedicated to one coach in a way. Some coaches left the rink, some no, and some no, go with your brother. I mean it. And but I didn't want to do it that long. So in middle school I was begging to do equestrian. Learn equestrian. No, couldn't do that either. And folks, you got to know this wasn't a money issue. The skating alone was quite a bit of money, but you got to hear about all the money, and they started using some of that as a head game on me, like it costs this much money, so you better win the championships. And at some point, it broke. I couldn't win no more on my own. My nerves were shattered. I was shaking like a leaf. Well, if you don't get enough nutrients and sleep, you're not going to do very good in like an intense sport like that. I just wanted something that was connected to something that meant something. And at least if you're doing equestrian or something, you're connecting with the horse, some sort of relationship being made. Yeah, it's still a dangerous sport, but so I mean, I got things hurting on me, then damages done. I was trying to see what Poe was prowling around about. Looked like he was in a... Don't get the mourning dove. Don't do... I hope they don't get the mourning doves. So I guess I'm doing okay, but I'm not going to promise anything, folks. I wanted to think it was it. I wouldn't have any more cocktails. I don't know why this is out here like this. So I don't even think John will be able to. So he likes the mead. He said he cut back, but he was making mead. And we'll see. There might be some big changes. So I don't know, maybe not be what we think or whatever. So we'll name the little unicorn footstool. So prices in some arenas was still really bad. The meats, a lot of them more of them were labeled as USA. The ground beef was still mixed, but with USA. But the roast, the chicken was a whole chicken. It was a smaller chicken, pretty natural. I think it was decent price, but not great. But honestly, from last winter, whatever was going on down there, it seems like they had adjusted some of them. But still, like technically, back in however many years ago, this bill was pretty high because we got a lot. So $3.34, it probably would have been $2. So maybe $2.50. So this is kind of how it is with them all day long, depending on solar flares, atmospheric pressure. If I'm not napping and sleeping, he's like this. And they can actually start to they can get stressful. Like I'm already starting to feel stressed just from being up with them. And I don't feel right just like putting the dogs, like we're like, say they're in another room and then having to put the gate up. But that's like really, I guess really kind of all you can do with these two. He can't play fetch no more. There's been too many. He's 5 and there's been too much. And I am not going to watch him be chewing his leg all day. You know what I mean? They would take persistence and make it into the most persistent creature that could ever be. I've never in my life had dogs that make things this I mean, I think it works for certain types of personalities. Maybe more so like someone that has a really hard time like getting motivated, or maybe they just aren't affected by like this type of intensity where they're like, I'm gonna have to now get like loud after I get off of here, most likely, just to get some space. You know what I mean? I just need a little space. You know what I mean? Oh, because see, he just like literally hurt me really bad. So he kind of knows, but then it'll just continue.